But underneath all of that is the Bible. I am unapologetically 100% in favor of it is the Bible. Jesus is the Word. There is no delineation. If the Bible says it, that's what Jesus is, and that's what Jesus believes. That's what this podcast is actually about, is to actually alert people to what is coming and what is our responsibility in the midst of it.
And that is why I've introduced legislation to add the Equal Rights Amendment as the 28th Amendment, enshrining it as the law of this land.
I'd be happy to look at your Equal Rights Amendment and read through it. I guess my biggest question was, does it define what a woman is?
I look forward to your signing on.
We'll take a look at it. I just was hoping for some analytical clarity, but thank you. We'll take a look at it.
That on the one hand, yesterday I held in abeyance my optimism on inflation until this number, and this number is a pretty darn optimistic number here. Final demand for goods falling 1.4%. Foods were down 0.6%. So that's a pretty interesting issue right there. Of course, energy leading the way, minus 6.4%. My friends who are truckers, we're thinking of you, and we see diesel down 18% in this number here. The core down 0.2.
I think preventing fraud in government should be completely nonpartisan. It's not a Democrat issue or a Republican issue. Yet almost the entirety of the Republican dais is filled with people sitting here listening to the entire hearing, and literally the entire Democrat dais is empty. I think that's, quite frankly, a disgrace. I think it's a disgrace to the people who pay taxes to know that there's an entire party that does not care whether taxpayer money is burnt.
Senator, you've received almost $700,000 from the illegal labor lobby. Is that why you voted against the Save America Act?
Can you tell me who the illegal labor lobby is?
Yes, it's contractors, general contractors, hospitality companies, industries, construction companies and industries.
How much do you know about the which Save America Act are you talking about?
The one that you voted against, sir.
Okay. And so you're asking me if I voted, I was against it because
you're receiving almost $700,000 from these lobbyists.
Do you have any idea what a remarkably silly question that is?
I think it's a pretty important one. I think your constituents want to know why you're betraying them.
Some math. You know what my election cycle, the total all-in election cycle cost was in 2020? It's $300 million. Do you honestly believe that I would make a policy decision based on that?
I don't know why you're betraying your constituents.
Who do you work for?
I'm independent.
Okay.
Why are you betraying your constituents? Why are you betraying your constituents, Senator?
Good luck on the clicks.
We just want secure elections, Senator. You're preventing us from getting that. You're betraying America.
Good luck on your job.
Good luck on yours. What a strange thing for Senator Tillis to say. $700,000 is not enough. He's a sellout, but not that amount, because he receives $300 million. If I were an honest person and I were answering that question, I would just say, I'm not a sellout to anyone. I don't sell out for any amount of money. But Tom Tillis says he sells out, but not for that amount.
Empire Manufacturing, we're expecting a July read to come in a positive 9. It comes in more aggressive at 15.6. That would be the best read going back to, April of 22. That's how weak. Excuse me. We do have a positive read that was in May. That was 19.6. That was the highest since April of 2022.
The kinetic part of this is ridiculous. Also, the phone calls that President Trump got yesterday. And this is what we have to be realistic about this. We have an Islamic invasion of this country. We have a red-green alliance that runs New York City. They're all over Los Angeles, Chicago, Minneapolis. They're the John C. Calhouns of the 21st century, in that they've nullified all federal law to be sanctuary cities. Yesterday, they got Mark Wayne Mullen to blink. Mike Davis got so hot about that, he calls me up right away and says, "Hey, I got to come on here. Because of one incident, you're going to shut down all traffic stops on getting rid of the bad hombres. You can't do that." So those are the things President Trump on. But the calls he got yesterday from the Gulf, the Gulf Arabs, Qatar and UAE and Saudi Arabia are no better. In singling out Israel, the Gulf guys are actually, I think, even worse, because they're the ones with Pakistan that are funding the Islamic invasion of the United States. That money's all coming from their oil monies. That's why I have no problem taking 20%. If you're going to keep the fleet there, let's go non-kinetic. No more bombing runs. We don't have to do that, but choke this regime down with economics, with sanctions, no oil to the Chinese Communist Party, no cash to the mullahs, all of it. And hey, if it takes 20% and that's their profits, then big deal. Why do we care about a bunch of corrupt monarchies that have double deltas all the time and have us now doing their work for them? Let's get the young princelies, MBS and his prince buddies, let's get them over to take Carg Island. MBZ, who's the best fighter pound for pound over there and actually has a pretty good little military, let's get them to take the cliffs of on the Straits of Hormuz right there. Let's get Qatar and all the money they've spread around, the billions of dollars they spread around to buy off people in the United States, right? Let's get that and get it to American citizens right now to pay for the tens of billions of dollars that we got to pay for somehow, and they got to pay for it now.
All right, Wednesday night, and we are live. Hope everybody's doing good as always. Be blessed in the mighty name of Jesus. All right, let me see who is in the chat here tonight. I think I'm at the bottom. All right, there we go. Auntie Mama is on. Dead Pal Fitty is on. Peg McGroin is on. General Plowman is on. Aggravain is on. JD Joy is on. Buckeye Nut 1968 is on. Granite 2468 is on. Peg McGroin is on. Laura Jean Lynn is on. Aggravain is on. Sedensmore is on. JD Joy is on. Let me see here. Scrolling down. Jules 21 hours on. Keeper 1376 is on. Peg McGroin is on. Already got you, Peg, but welcome again. Graybeard is on. USA Abbey Girl is on. Depp Pal Fitty is on. Arcadia Angel is on. Jim Brody is on. Andre K 24 is on. Scrolling down, Mark 1069 is on. Aphrodite's is on. In case I didn't get it already, Granite 2468 is on. Let me see here. Big Jim Go Blue is on. Let me see. Release the Hog is on. Skunk 71 is on. DC 941 is on. All right. Snag Dog is on. Let me see. Milwaukee James is on. Scrolling down. Lisa Kinzer is on. Let me see here. K4, VMS is on. Kansas Law Dog is on. Confederate 1 is on. Steph Toms is on. Biggie 926 is on. Laura Jean Lynn is on. Patrina C is on. Scrolling down. Rumble is broken. No, I'm just kidding. It must be user error. The Great T1AU is on. Scrolling down. Let me see a couple more I haven't gotten yet. I got Patrina. Let me see here. Mud Tire 84 is on. Let me grab one or two more. PD Frank is on. All right, one more. Let me find one more I haven't seen yet. Scrolling down. Black Horse is on. Queen Isabel is on. All right, love you guys. Appreciate each and every one of you. All right, Trump, here's the greatness of Trump. Go to the first one for me, Will. Donald Trump, Truth Social. The men and women of ICE are doing a great job. One that has to be done. Crime is way down in America, which is true. In many cases with numbers that haven't been, that's the greatness of Trump, by the way, that haven't been seen in decades. The open border policy of Sleepy Joe Biden allowed 25 million people to pour into our country, unchecked, unvetted. Many were criminals, which is true, and we have to get them out, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, what he did was he reversed the no traffic thing. If you skip down to the bottom, cannot give up one of ICE's most important and effective crime-fighting tools, the traffic stop. So he reversed Mark Wayne Mullen. Mark Wayne Mullen ended up actually going behind Trump's back. That's why you don't trust these guys like Mark Wayne Mullen. Tom, do you trust Trump more than Mark Wayne Mullen? Because Trump at least has said things before that could cost him elections and things like that. Actually has made, pretty difficult statements and made difficult decisions. Obviously, I've not been happy about the last year and a half. But anyway, Markwayne Mullin is just an institutionalized Republican who always wants to get in fistfights literally with people who are a lot smaller than he is. So anyway, Markwayne Mullin actually went behind his back and banned, this all came out today on Twitter, went behind his back, Trump was infuriated, banned ICE doing traffic stops at the request of Senator Susan Collins. That's actually what happened. And now Markwayne Mullin has reversed himself, put it out on social media about all the Democrats have done to limit ICE and all the AOCs and the Gavin Newscombs and one other one he put out there, all the things that they've done to hinder ICE operations, putting out how to avoid ICE, how to evade ICE, everything else. So, and that was, by the way, that was true. I almost clipped it and put it in the show because it was actually a pretty good tweet, but it's stuff you've already heard about. But anyway, so not a good look. DHS, they shouldn't have ever fired Greg Bavino. That never should have happened. Tom Holman seems like he's gotten to be quite a gelding lately, and they put in people like Markwayne Mullin. I do believe actually that Trump did not know that he was doing this. So Markwayne Mullin's just that kind of guy. He does some decent things, but overall he's just sort of your prototypical Republican, establishment Republican who thinks that he's a probably, even though I drive one myself, F-250 sort of MAGA guy that I see that right now. In the gubernatorial elections here in Florida with like Jay Collins, he's Mr. like threat. He tries to intimidate everybody. I'm a veteran. I'm this, I'm that. Everybody's sick and tired of it. So Markwayne Mullin really blew it up here. Big mistake. Trump now has fixed it. This is the greatness of Trump. Also, if you saw the pregame, manufacturing is booming in the United States. That's because of Donald J. Trump. Consumer price index is going down. That's because of Donald J. Trump. That is the greatness of Trump. I will not be a black-pilled liar. When Donald Trump does great things, I'll report on it. When a Democrat does great things, but they never do, I'll report on it. Democrats never do great things, ever. Literally ever. Even right now, they're voting against the merging of our military with Israel. We'll get into that in a little bit. It's all for the wrong reasons. I stand with Thomas Massey against merging our military and our intelligence agencies, which are already merged with Mossad anyway. But anyway, merging them with Israel because I am a patriot. I'm an American first patriot, and I don't believe in treasonously, if that's a word, merging our militaries with a foreign government. That's why. Now, why are the Democrats against it? Because they're pro-Palestine and pro-Muslim and pro-Sharia law. Two very different motivations, right? Not saying you can't use it in the moment, but they're two very different motivations. I have to show you this because I talked about it from last night. You can go to the next one. This is unbelievable. I don't even know how to pronounce the person who put this out. It's like Kamara's lawyer, political satirist video. This is actual video from the Canadian military. I'm glad Will's back. Welcome back, Will, after his, I'm sure, wonderful vacation. Did you have a great vacation?
Yeah.
Okay, you did. Good. I didn't know. It's a little bit up there. But anyway, great vacation. He's back. But this is good. It lands perfectly with Will because obviously he's a Paris Island trained Marine, war veteran. This is the current status of the Canadian military. Will, just pick as many things as you can to criticize about this video. Play it for me. All right, so there you go. I'm hoping, you see the crowd there. I'm hoping that's not the actual military. I'm hoping it's some sort of like ROTC or something. I have no idea. But now you know this is the status of Canada. Though. But the reason why I think it's the legit military, you just never know online. The only reason why I think it's legit because we've seen them marching before. They can't march in step. Everybody realizes that Canada is simply a vassal state of the United States of America. They have absolutely no way to defend themselves whatsoever. And we repeatedly get the symbolic middle finger from those people, from their government, Mark Carney, namely. This is what we're dealing with. This is basically the entirety of Europe for all intents and purposes also. Just wanted to show you that. All right, let's change subject. Let's go to CDL licenses here in the United States. Colin Rugg video, new illegal immigrant who killed 3 people. Got 4 years, 8 months in prison. I'm not sure how to pronounce the name. Jaspreet Singh, illegal alien under the influence of drugs. Remember this crash. Play it for me. All right, so he kills 3 people. Just put the next one up, just side by side it. Here's the judge. Judge Shannon Farity gives that name there, again, good luck. It's Jaspreet Singh. They're all named last name of Singh, which I'll get to in just a minute. He gets 4 years in prison, for 4 years, 8 months in prison for killing 3 people, and he's an illegal immigrant. 4 years in prison. He was under the influence of drugs, and kills 3 people, but you saw it right there. I mean, he basically vaporized at least 2 people, the first people that he hit. So anyway, and he gets 4 years in prison. All right, go to the next one for me. MJ Truth Ultra tweet. Since 2025, 3 Indian illegal aliens, all sharing the last name Singh, our suspect there on the left, well, now convicted felon, last name Singh, and holding commercial driver's licenses issued by Gavin Newsom in California. All 3 are illegal, but somehow qualify for a CDL. They don't even qualify for a regular driver's license, but somehow in Gavin Newsom's California, J.B. Pritzker's Illinois, Kathy Hochul's New York, they're all getting CDLs and killing human beings. It's just like Susan Collins she has an R in front of her name, but she's a Democrat. All upset about ICE doing traffic stops and insisting to Mark Wayne Mullen that they stop, basically is securing the rapes, murders, and traffic homicides of who knows how many citizens. Because these people have to be taken off the freaking streets. And Trump did a great job, getting the traffic stops back, getting DHS moving again. But just recently, though, the mass deportations have stopped ostensibly since Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And this is what we have. And then you have a leftist judge give the murderer on the left 4 years in prison for vaporizing 3 human beings. Holding commercial driver's license CDLs issued by California have been involved in separate semi-truck crashes that collectively killed 8 and injured dozens of Americans. This is what the Democratic Party brings to the United States of America, and the feckless Republican Party not stopping them and funding them and continuing to fund their NGOs and every other operation. Catholic Family Services, Jewish Family Services, allowing all of these people to cross from our southern border. Many, many Indians crossing through our southern border, not to mention the HB1 visas and everything else. This is all brought to you by the Democratic Party and the feckless Republican Party that doesn't do anything about it, that is refusing to pass the Save America Act to secure our elections right now. All right, go to the next one for me. And Wokeness Street, just a little side-by-side comparison. Enrique Tarrio, remember him from the January 6th protest, January 6th protest, of which he wasn't even there. He wasn't even in Washington, D.C., was sentenced to 22 years in prison until he was pardoned by Donald Trump, the greatness of Trump, And then we have Singh here, kills 3 and gets 4 years in prison. This is why I could rant for the rest of the show about our judicial system, about our court system here in the United States of America, and how absolutely corrupt it is. Because it all depends on are you in a blue jury? Are you in a blue district with a blue jury, blue prosecutor, blue judge? Or are you in a red district with a red judge, a red prosecutor, and a red jury? It all depends. If you are red in a blue area, you are going to freaking prison, i.e. Enrique Tarrio, who wasn't even in D.C. on January 6th. And was sentenced to prison for seditious conspiracy, of which he didn't do anything seditious, and there was no conspiracy, was sentenced to prison for 22 years. This man vaporizes 3, is part of the 3 drivers that vaporized 8 Americans and injured dozens of others in 3 separate crashes. None of them are going to prison for 22 years. None of them. All right, let's go to the next one. Nick Sortor video, or tweet, sorry. I keep screwing that up. Nick Sortor tweet. Infuriating Democrat Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear is refusing to stop issuing driver's licenses to illegals, driving multi-ton trucks, and no ability to speak English. They don't even have an ability, folks, just so everybody understands. The numbers are not universal. They can't even read their speedometer. They can't read anything on their dashboard. They can't read a single sign. They can't read a speed limit. And Andy Beshear is issuing them CDLs. That's who the Democratic Party is. I mean, I have lots and lots of problems with the Republican Party. The main problem is Republicans are absolutely cowards. But these people want us to die. They want Americans dead. They want Americans raped and killed so that they can usher in totalitarianism, primarily using flock cameras at this point. All right, let's go to the next one. Let's go to the SAVE Act. RNC research video. Let's look at the difference between Republicans and Democrats, shall we? One of these videos from the pregame, RNC research video, Chuck Schumer on the SAVE Act. Play it for me.
Republicans should know by now that it ain't going to fly with us, with the courts, or with the American people. I'll say it as many times as it takes. The SAVE Act is dead on arrival here in the Senate. I don't care how Republicans try to package their plan to resurrect the old ghost of Jim Crow. We will kill it.
Senator, you've received almost $700,000 from the illegal labor lobby. Is that why you voted against the Save America Act?
Can you tell me who the illegal labor lobby is?
Yes, it's contractors, general contractors, hospitality companies, industries, construction companies and industries.
What do you know about the which Save America Act are you talking about?
The one that you voted against, sir.
Okay. And so you're asking me if I voted, I was against it because
you're receiving almost $700,000 from these lobbyists.
Do you have any idea what a remarkably silly question that is?
I think it's a pretty important one. I think your constituents want to know why you're betraying them.
Some math. You know what my election cycle, the total all-in election cycle cost was in 2020? It's $300 million. Do you honestly believe that I would make a policy decision based on that?
I don't know why you're betraying your constituents.
Who do you work for?
I'm independent.
Okay.
Why are you betraying your constituents? Why are you betraying your constituents, Senator?
Good luck on the clicks.
We just want secure elections, Senator. You're preventing us from getting that. You're betraying America.
Good luck on your job.
Good luck on yours. What a strange thing for Senator Tillis to say. $700,000 is not enough. He's a sellout, but not that amount, because he receives $300 million. If I were an honest person and I were answering that question, I would just say, I'm not a sellout to anyone. I don't sell out for any amount of money. But Tom Tillis says he sells out, but not for that amount.
I mean, life really is simple. I mean, it really is. So if you ask a Democrat, why are you not voting for the Save America Act? They'll make up things like it makes it harder for people to vote, and that women will have to show up at the polls who are married with their birth certificates with their maiden names, none of which is true. All absolute lies. And there, again, why would you vote against securing elections? Why would you vote against forensic audits? Well, I mean, why would you do that? Why would you not want to? If you really believe that you won elections, then wouldn't you, if it was me, and I knew that I won an election, whether I was the politician or whether I was the party chief, and I knew that I won an election, I'd be like, yeah, let's recount it again. No problem. That's like another victory. Let's do it again. No problem at all. But why do Democrats never want to do that? Why do Democrats not want voter ID? Why do they want mail-in balloting, mass mail-in balloting? Why do they not want to clean their voter rolls? I mean, obviously for mass voter fraud. But you see the difference here. I mean, Tom Tillis, his argument is, again, you saw that you had Chuck Schumer voting against the SAVE Act. So what did Tom Tillis do? Voted against the SAVE Act. What's the difference? What's the difference? I honestly believe this, and I'm partially kind of stealing this from Aaron, because Aaron actually was on the Senate floor and he watched how all these people are butt buddies. You think they're these mortal enemies with one another? No, they're all hugging each other, going out to drinks, going out to dinner. I honestly believe that sometimes really it's just a staged act where everyone goes, okay, everybody get together. Who's voting for it? Who votes it against it? And let's orchestrate it so it'll all be politically beneficial for us, or at least as little detrimental as possible. That's what everybody does. So we can continue to get our $250,000 a year jobs that we then turn into multi-million-dollar a year jobs via our NGO payments, via our wives buying our campaign ads. You saw Tom Tillis right there. Do you know what my last campaign cycle, how much money was involved in my last campaign cycle? $300 million. You think I would sell out for $700,000? I don't know. Would you sell out for $1 million then? That's his actual answer. But that's what they do. They all just sit around. What will be least detrimental for all of us? What will be most politically expedient for all of us? And then they just vote accordingly so that the gravy train continues for them personally. That's really what it's all about, with 99% of Republicans and 100% of Democrats. And that's really the delineation that I see. A very small amount of Republicans. Every Republican senator voted yesterday to merge our military with Israel's. Every one of them. Every last one of them voted for it. That was available to vote. Voted for that. 50 of them. 50 of it. Still lost because you have to get 60. Again, that just shows you there's no difference whatsoever. There really isn't. Because again, if you just look at it, until Trump came along, this is the greatness of Trump. What did anybody ever do with abortion? Nothing. Not one thing. They ran on pro-life. We voted for them because they were pro-life. What did they ever do that was pro-life? Nothing until Trump came along. And thank God for him when it comes to the abortion part. Here's the downside of Trump. Go to the next one for me. Why are we doing this? Can anybody explain this to me? I mean, I would love to hear Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent post. As America commemorates 250 years of independence, the U.S. Mint will begin striking the new $1 gold coin to honor the enduring legacy of liberty and legacy of liberty and a lasting symbol of patriotism. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense in there. But anyway, why are we doing this? I mean, again, it's never good when somebody's just absolutely outright self-serving. I mean, this is ridiculous, all right? I mean, I like Trump. I don't regret my vote for Trump. I don't like the last year and a half. I don't. I think he's done a lousy job since he's become president overall in this term. Lousy job. We're in a new war. No mass deportations, no wall. Economy's doing okay, but mass debt, which again, the economy, you can have the stock, you leave this up, you can have the stock market booming, but if costs continue to rise, they're allegedly going down, but if costs continue to rise, namely housing costs, it really doesn't matter that the stock market's booming, because the stock market is mainly run by leftist bourgeois elitists, and leftist bourgeois elitists pretending to be Republicans. That's it. So they're really the only ones benefiting. Why are we doing this? Why? Why are we building statues of ourselves? Why are we doing that? Did you vote for that? I did not vote for that. All right, let's go to the next one. Let's go to Democrats now. Wall Street 8's video. Portland police announced they don't have the staff to handle 9/11 calls. They don't have the staff to handle 911 calls in Portland, run by Democrats for decades. And now they can no longer respond to 911 calls. And it's taking over 40 minutes to respond to the ones they do respond to. 40 minutes. This is a Democrat-run city. Year after year. this is my whole thing. I'll attack Republicans left and right. The only time I attack Republicans is when they are doing things that are not conservative. And then I get called by people like Benny Johnson, not personally, just symbolically. Benny Johnson, Sean Ferris, Gunther Eagleman, Cat Turd. I get called a non-conservative or a panican for pointing out wherever Trump or any other Republican who's supporting Trump is not being conservative. But that certainly doesn't make me a Democrat, because anything that's not conservative, I don't like. Now let's look at the absolute antithesis of conservatism and the antithesis of Christianity. Portland, Oregon. All right, well, it's taken them 40 minutes to respond to 911 calls. A woman was just forced to hold off a naked homeless man trying to grab her 7-year-old without police help because they were busy. Play for me.
Well, this is another event we've reported on where bystander intervention has prevented what could have been a much more serious crime. And today police are saying that it shouldn't come down to heroic actions by citizens.
We don't have the appropriate amount of police officers to handle the amount of demand for police services.
This statement from Portland Police has been made evident the past several days. On Saturday, it took officers an estimated 30 to 40 minutes to respond to a dozen 911 calls reporting a naked man harassing people in Waterfront Park. This escalated to an alleged attempt to grab a 7-year-old girl out of her parents' arms. The Bureau says its officers were tied up with a barricaded suspect a mile away.
They're resource intensive, and so when you have a draw like that, it really puts a drain on the entire city, not just that precinct.
But this wasn't an isolated incident. Earlier this month, a group of women held back an alleged attacker for 40 minutes until help arrived. And on Monday morning, a Fox 12 crew was threatened with a knife at the waterfront. It took police 10 minutes to intervene.
Unless it's an on-call group of officers like the SWAT team or the traffic team, there's no additional officers that I can just bring in at a moment's notice.
Deputy Chief Brian Hughes says PPP was operating at a 24% staffing reduction, with 41 officers stationed across the city and 10 pulling overtime. He says tactical calls like the domestic violence threat in Old Town require additional staff in case the suspect gets away or fires a weapon. With 70 vacancies, more than $20 million in recent budget cuts, and an increase in complex calls since 2020, Hughes says patrol staff is stretched too thin to respond right away.
It's just triaging calls as they come in on the street, as opposed to having enough officers to handle each call as they came in.
On Saturday, officers arrested the naked suspect, Daniel Vassie, after he waded into the river, only after police say he was pepper sprayed by a bystander. Vassie had already been arrested that very day in Gresham for reportedly trespassing at Legacy Mount Hood Hospital. According to court documents, he assaulted a hospital security guard, was pepper sprayed, booked and released, and was arrested again at the park 2 hours later. I asked what can be done to ensure community safety with the Bureau's current staffing levels and budget. Police say it comes down to, quote, city values.
Those are some very heroic things that have been done across our city. I can tell you that I would prefer that we have a police department that is able to respond in a timely fashion and handle those things appropriately.
No, it's always good to have. Hey, Aaron, you can't. I was going to say, put that flash that last peg. If you can flash that guy's peg, it's always great. Oh, you're awesome, man. That was fast. It's always great to have an effeminate man speaking for the police. It really is. But anyway, so you look at what Democrats have done to the city of Portland, and again, everything has changed. It just all has because of the MAGA Civil War. Do I think Republicans would do better? Absolutely, I do. I really think they do better on the local level. Nationally, they're all sold out. On the local level, Republicans are, in fact, better. This is not happening in Republican-run cities, although most cities are not run by Republicans. This is happening in every Democrat city, where they have a $20 million, what'd you call it, Aaron? Reallocation of resources? Yeah. That was the defund the police movement. They took $20 million from this department. They have 41 officers on patrol in all of Portland. At the time. 70 vacancies. It takes us 40 minutes to respond to 911 calls. But they do have an effeminate man speaking for them. This is what Democrats do. This is why we can't be distracted with Iran. We can't be distracted merging with Israel. We can't be distracted printing Trump coins and being concerned about putting Trump's signature on the dollar bill and everything. You know what? That's all a waste of time. And getting rid of pennies, we've got to retake this country from people like the people, whoever it is, that's now running Portland. It's always amazing, too, because the Democrats will end up being victims of their own policies at some point, and they already will be now. I wonder if the lady at the park where the naked guy was trying to take her 7-year-old daughter, I wonder if she votes Democrat. And what's amazing is that she probably does, and what will she do in the next election, Aaron? Vote Democrat. Yep. I'll answer for Aaron. He doesn't want to answer. All right, so let's go to the next one. John Stossel video. Seattle politicians wanted dignity for delivery drivers. Play it for me.
Not long ago, new kinds of jobs appeared. App-based gig work. Dog walkers, TaskRabbit, DoorDash, and most common, Uber and Lyft drivers. Gig work is paid by the job, and some say, not paid enough.
I'm just basically working part-time to pay my bills and survive.
Leftist media say gig workers are exploited.
We're paid as little as $2 a job.
So activists demand politicians do something.
We have a well-crafted solution.
Seattle politicians' well-crafted solution was to guarantee delivery drivers a $26 minimum wage.
You get the dignity, you get the benefits of what's coming to you.
What could go wrong? After all, companies like Uber and DoorDash make so much money, they can eat the cost without raising prices.
Annual revenues of billions of dollars a year, so I wouldn't assume that prices are going to go up.
But they did.
Getting whipped with new charges on food delivery apps.
Oops.
It was 3 items of, Thai takeout food for $122.
I just deleted the app.
Obviously, when you're increasing cost to businesses, you're going to increase cost to customers. These are very, almost unimaginably complicated markets where the company's main job is actually interfacing between restaurants and delivery workers and customers. And then you have, frankly, usually an economically illiterate city council or mayor who comes in and thinks basically by looking at an industry through reading the daily news, they can appropriately regulate the exact wage.
We want an economy in our city that works for everybody.
2 years later, the data is in, and drivers did not benefit. Why? Supply and demand. To pay drivers more, apps raise prices, so customers order less. DoorDash says it got 1.7 million fewer orders.
Why do you think it's slow in Seattle right now? Well, it's becoming slow because of the new law.
Business has plummeted because of Seattle's new food delivery ordinance.
That's what happens when politicians micromanage.
We have a system in America that decides fairness by what the market will bear.
But the politicians don't get it. They say we can fix it, we just have to tinker with it.
The market is actually deciding what someone's job is worth.
Seattle's then city council president realized they'd made a mistake.
I believe that we created a problem and it's our responsibility to fix it.
Good. So they repealed their harmful law? No. She said, we just have to tinker with the numbers.
If we had gotten the minimum pay standard right, we would not see the decline in the revenue.
Give me a break. The conceit of politicians.
Yep, that's it. I appreciate it.
Free enterprise requires businesses to constantly adjust pay and prices to attract both workers and customers. Yet Seattle politicians confidently say the price we pick is the right one.
When you think about it, it's actually just patently absurd on its face.
Dumb as these rules are, the regulators have the power and they can force this.
You're not going to have any improved well-being for people, and you're not going to have increased wages for those workers.
The same thing happened in New York City.
App-based food delivery workers are getting $19.56 an hour. But with the bump in pay came a reduction in tips.
The decrease in tips and increased competition for jobs offset all of the gains, basically, from that imposed minimum wage.
That upsets New York's new mayor.
Make no mistake, we will have those workers' backs each and every time.
It's this continual whack-a-mole tendency where, yes, the market responds. We need a new regulation to try to prevent that response. They think that the next regulation is somehow going to squelch the greed out of the system, but there's simply no way to do that.
Right. Competition's the only good way to handle that. We asked my mayor and Seattle City Council members, how do you know better than the push and pull of the market? They didn't respond.
A lot of politicians want to believe there's a free lunch or just a fixed pot of money that they can give out to the neediest people in America. The actual effect was not to improve the well-being of any workers, but it was to increase costs for customers and to sabotage one of the most successful businesses in the city.
One that pays people for something they like to do.
We got one more last pickup in Margaritaville. Let's go pick up that order. We're live here in New York City. Look at that.
All right, so there you go. I mean, again, just a few things on this. And it was all Democrat cities, of course. You got Seattle blowing up. They're I don't know what you call the delivery market, or what do you see what they call the workers? I can't remember what you call them. But anyway, just the Uber Eats, the Uber workers. And there's a lot of people, various degrees. So some people that, have full-time jobs, do Uber on the side. When I'm saying it's DoorDash, Uber, all, and I can't remember the delivery drivers, but that's not really the market. They call it something else. But anyway, Democratic politicians blow it up. These are people that have never run a business in their life. You have a woman at the podium who's making this decision, who has a nose ring and a man behind her dressed as a woman. These are the people that are making these decisions. And then they get it all wrong. They blow up the market. They had 1.7 million fewer orders. These are the people that the Democrats are helping. And again, I can't stand the Republicans either, even though I am one. I can't stand the Republicans either, but Republicans don't do this. They flat out don't do this. I can attack Trump all I want. Trump doesn't pull this crap. This is all Democrats. All right. This is why, again, we need to be engaged with getting rid of Democrats and Democratic voters. I don't mean that violently, but Democratic voters, i.e. all the illegals that need to be mass deported. Greg Bovino believes there's 100 million illegals living in this country right now. Former CBP director. So the response to blowing up the entire Uber market is 1.7 million fewer orders is, we didn't get the minimum pay standard right. Incorrect. It's that you have a minimum pay standard. You can never get it right. Socialism has never, ever worked. And that's why you end up with a Thai order of 4 items of Thai food, which again is about the cheapest food you can possibly get. Thai food. You end up with an order with 4 trays on it. 4 little compartments of food. $122. Where before that would have been about $17. That's what the Democrats do. And it's on purpose so that you can't afford to live. You can't afford a mortgage and you have to run to them. And what's the problem with the Republicans? They do nothing to stop it. They keep on funding it. If it wasn't for Trump in office right now, Mike Johnson would be funding Kamala Harris's budgets, as he did over and over again with Joe Biden's budgets. John Thune, the same thing. Because there's no difference. And I know that I'm preaching to the choir, but there's absolutely no difference. The Republicans will do just enough on votes that don't matter. When they actually don't have the votes, they vote correctly. When they do have the votes, they vote against whatever it is that we want, i.e. John McCain and Obamacare. Obamacare going up 14% again this year for the 7th consecutive year of double-digit increases. John McCain could have gotten rid of it and didn't do it. Voted 5 or 6 times before to get rid of it. But when we finally had the votes and he was the deciding vote, he voted to keep it. That's what they do. They vote for all the anti-abortion things until they actually have enough votes to overturn an abortion law, and then they vote against it. Because that's who they are. They're not there to be conservatives. They're not there for you and me. They are there for their own financial interest, and that's it. And they're all getting rich. Every one of them, all 535 are getting rich. Again, that's a little bit hyperbolic, but for all intents and purposes, that's correct. Got to show you this one, just for fun. Jen Pellegrino video. I can't believe this is real. This is the chancellor of UC San Francisco testified under oath that a vast majority of pregnancies are women. A vast majority, Aaron. Oh. A vast majority, Will. A vast majority of pregnancy of women. This is the head of one of the top medical schools in the country. Play for me.
Of course, the vast majority of pregnancies are in women, and I have absolutely no problem with using the word pregnant women. I use it myself.
Has a non-biological woman ever had a baby?
A transgender person can.
That's not a biological woman. Has a non-biological woman ever had a baby?
I would reiterate, we
it's
take
ridiculous.
Care.
So chancellor of the UC San Francisco, this is the head of one of the top medical schools in the country, cannot answer the question. Has a non-biological woman ever given birth to a baby? He can't answer it. That's the state of the Democratic Party right now. That's the state. And that's why Trump won. I'm glad he won. That's the state, because Trump, the greatness of Trump is he does fight these transgender things. The greatness of Pete Hegseth, getting rid of transgenderism in the military. Pete Hegseth wants everybody tested for testosterone every year now in the military. That's the greatness of him. And you can't negate the greatness of it, but you have to point out when they make incredible, stupid decisions, i.e. Iran, i.e. no more traffic stops for DHS, i.e. no mass deportations, i.e. no wall, i.e. printing a coin with your name on it, i.e. having a statue made of yourself. All of that's a waste of time. Big, beautiful bill, adding $1.7 trillion to debt, adding $3 trillion to debt since you've been president. Those are not conservative things. No wall is not conservative. No mass deportations is not conservative. Starting a new war is not conservative. Printing your face on a coin is not conservative. Adding $3 trillion to the debt is not conservative. That doesn't make me non-conservative to point out that a quote-unquote conservative is not being conservative. It's really easy. I mean, real life is actually quite simple. Here's somebody, speaking of simplicity of life, who needs to spend the rest of their life in federal prison. Rand Paul video, December 2025. Jack Smith swore under oath that he didn't spy on text messages belonging to members of Congress. Today, new evidence confirms he spied on dozens of members of Congress, myself included. Play for me.
Did the toll records that you requested from the senators, did they include the content of the phone calls?
No.
Did the records that you requested, the toll records from the members of Congress, include the content of text messages?
No.
Can you explain for us on the record?
This is the lousy side of Trump. As the great T1AU said last night, why here we are 540 days, so maybe it's 541 days now into the Trump administration, and nobody's in prison. Outside of John Bolton, he isn't in prison yet, but that's the greatness of Trump. I'm not gonna sit here and act like John Bolton hasn't occurred, because he has. But why is Fauci walking around? Why is Jack Smith walking around? Where's Kash Patel? Is he on another private jet to go see his girlfriend play that he now calls a friend? I mean, I'm just curious. Where are they? Why are they not in prison? I appreciate the DOJ going after fraud. But again, when you have thousands upon tens or even hundreds of thousands of employees, you can't walk and chew gum at the same time. You can't actually do that. So why is Jack Smith walking around free? Still, 540 days in. Go to the next one for me. Apple Lamps video. Democrats create the crisis, blame Trump, and demand another term. Let me give you some context on this. This is Governor Healy out of Massachusetts. In Massachusetts, Healy campaigned for governor by boasting, "Remember, I stopped 2 gas pipelines from coming into the state." Who would brag about that? Now Healy complains that Massachusetts does not produce natural gas and that it's hard for us to even get it here. Remember, I stopped the gas lines from coming here. We can't get any gas here. Play for me.
Gas is so volatile, and we don't even produce it here. And with Jones Act and other things, it's hard for us to even get it here, okay?
Remember, I stopped 2 gas pipelines from coming.
Put on a lot of weight in those years. But anyway, so there it is. That's typical Democrat. We can't get gas. We can't get gas. You stop the gas from coming. That's basically every Democratic policy that there is. $7, $8 gas in the state of California. Because the gas that goes to California actually has to go through the Panama Canal. Can you imagine that? I mean, that's the problem. They're actually importing their gas. They're importing their oil because they won't let a refinery be built in California, which has 40 million people living there. That's Democrats for you. So it's amazing. What absolutely blows my mind about people in general, not just Democrats. Jesus said, beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing. Ye shall know them by their fruits. Matthew 7:15-16. It's Luke 6:24. A tree is known by its fruit. For a good tree does not bear bad fruit, nor does a bad tree bear good fruit. Either make the tree good and its fruit good, or else make the tree bad and its fruit bad. But anyway, that's in Matthew chapter 12. But anyway, my whole thing with people is when you look at the fruit of your life, is it working? And if it's not working, why are you not open to change? That's what's amazing to me. I will never get it. If you are a Democrat, or you're a Christian that attends even Foundation Church here in Northport, Florida, and nothing that you're doing is working, and it's not working, why are you not open to change? And why do you act like you're an expert in the area that you're failing? I never will understand that. I will not get it. That's why I've said it from the pulpit a million times. Don't come to me for diet advice. I put on and lose the same 40 pounds over and over and over again. So I wouldn't come to me for diet advice. I mean, again, I wouldn't do that. And I don't claim to be an expert at dieting. Okay? But I mean, I am sort of an expert on how to take off that 40 pounds. I can do it. I can do it pretty quickly. But anyway, I mean, other than that, you don't come to me for dietary advice. Hey, Tom, what is it that you do? I mean, I would just love to be a 57-year-old man who's lost the same 40 pounds 40 times. Okay, obviously, here's the thing, and I've been caught in this myself. I've done this myself, but once you notice that it's not working, imagine being a Democrat and your Democratic representative, and this woman will get elected over and over again until she's no longer allowed to be elected in whatever office that she's running. She'll probably be a senator next. Why can't we afford gas in the state of Massachusetts? Because you have no pipeline that takes it to Massachusetts. Why is that? Because of the Democrats. And then the same Democrats will then blame it on fossil fuel industries. And it's you. It's you. I will never get it. I just want to read it one more time. Massachusetts, Healy campaigned for governor by boasting, remember, I stopped 2 gas pipelines from coming into the state. Now Healy complains that Massachusetts does not produce natural gas, and it's hard for us to even get it here. She blocked the infrastructure that would bring it here, sent energy costs soaring to the highest in the nation, and now discusses the shortage as though it appeared without explanation. But that is I'm going to keep that. That is a concise, that's like COVID. It appears without explanation. No, you funded it in the Wuhan Institute of Virology, and then you acted like it came from a pangolin in the Wuhan wet market. I mean, you're not even the Wuhan wet market, whatever, 1,000 miles south of Wuhan. I mean, truly amazing. I got to keep that. That's a good summation. All right, let's skip that one. Well, I don't want to do that one. Let's go to Nicholas Lasac tweet. There you go. I just have to show you these little debates. They're great online. This is Nicholas Lasac versus Alex Bruesewitz. J.D. Vance is once again torching the U.S.-Israel alliance. Good. By peddling toxic conspiracy theories about Jewish influence in America. How's it toxic? Do we have an AIPAC or don't we, Aaron?
Yep.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because is that not influencing our policies, our Congress, our Senate? Doesn't it?
Yep.
Okay, so how is that anti-Semitic? And I know the whole I don't know the whole argument. Aaron does, actually. But I understand the whole Semite thing, but I'm just telling you, listen, I know, you can put it in the chat if you want, I don't care, but I understand the Semite thing and what qualifies to be a Semite, and most Jewish people don't qualify as Semites. I get it. But for the ease of conversation, anti-Semite. Yeah. It doesn't make you anti-Semitical to criticize that Jewish people are influencing America.
Right.
How is that? I mean, how am I anti-Russian because Russians buy different campaign ads to influence our elections? They do. That's all they do. And that was $250,000 ad buy in the 2016 election. That's what led to the whole Russian collusion hoax. I'm not anti-Russian because I say negative things about Russians or Ukrainians or anything else. Or I'm not anti-Trump because I say negative things about Trump. It's just what is actually true. That's it. This snake, he says, and we're going to find out who this guy is in a minute. The snake is the venom rotting the Trump administration from inside. We'd have regime change in Iran right now if it wasn't for J.D. Vance. Now, I'm no J.D. Vance Palantir fan either, but I'm just saying, would we have a regime change if it wasn't for J.D. Vance?
No.
How are you going to have a regime change when the people inside of the country won't do it themselves? Let's go back to all of our successful regime changes, shall we? We're having a Russian-Ukraine war right now because of our blue revolution in Ukraine that caused the overthrow of the democratically elected president of Ukraine, which then the new government came in and then bombed the breakout provinces, which then made them, remember, this all started in 2014. Oh, who was there? Lindsey Graham, John McCain, and the Obama administration. All did the color revolution. I called it blue. Color revolution inside, it is blue actually, but Democrat. But anyway, the color revolution inside of Ukraine that unseated the democratically elected, these people who are always democracy, overthrew him. All the players involved in this. And then the new president comes into Ukraine, bombs Luhansk and Donetsk, the breakout provinces, bombs them. Ukraine bombed Ukraine. That's the Russian-speaking area that's habitually molested by the Nazi Azov battalion. And then lo and behold, Russia wants to take back the portion of Russia that speaks Russian. That was then, for some reason, made a part of Ukraine when the whole Soviet Union fell apart. All right, so go to the next one for me. Alex Bruesewitz responded. He must resign. Sorry, Nick. The vice president of the USA doesn't take orders from a third-rate social media influencers from the UK. Also, he's not spreading any conspiracy theories. Please see the screenshot below. Go ahead and put the next one up for me, Will. Here's the screenshot below. This is all true. Trump's this is what's his name? I forgot his name. Oh, I can't believe I forgot. Scott. Does it even have it on there? It doesn't have it. I forgot his name. Parcell.
Brad Parscale.
Brad. You have it, Aaron?
Yeah, it's right there.
Is it in there?
Yeah, Brad Parscale.
Okay.
Has
Where do you see it?
$1.5 million
Why
right
am I
under the
not seeing
main.
it? Oh, right on the main line. Oh, yeah. Brad Parscale. There you go. Trump's ex-campaign manager is running an Israeli influence operation targeting the MAGA base. Okay. That's all that Vance alleged. Okay. Vance alleged that Trump's ex-campaign manager, Brad Parscale, is running an Israeli influence operation targeting the MAGA base. He accused Brad Parscale of doing what Brad Parscale is doing. That's why people getting mad at me because all I talk about is the Iran war. Okay, well, is that not what's going on? All right, so Brad Parscale has a $1.5 million per month contract to run a digital messaging effort for Israel. And that's all Vance said. Is it true? Yes, it's true. Okay, I'm no big Vance fan. I do like where he's at. He's trying to like hang on to his 2028 chances by being Israel critical, which is what I am. I'm not anti-Israel. I'm not anti-France. I'm not anti-UK. I will be anti if they go against America or they try to influence America or they try to merge their militaries with America. I will then be anti that specific action and critical of it. All right, go to the next one for me. Grace Strong tweet. Breaking news, House Democrats continued their sharp turn against Israel, voting to cut $3 billion in aid to the Jewish state. 103 House Democrats. Now, the rest of them voted to merge, just so everybody knows. I wonder who they're receiving money from. All right. House Democrats voted for Thomas Massey's amendment to cut aid. All we want to do is cut the $3.8 billion, which Benjamin Netanyahu says he wants to do over the next 10 years. Yeah, right. And then merge our militaries. So you cut the 3.8 and make basically $1 trillion merging our militaries together. Why would you ever merge a country with 380 million people in it with a country of 10 million people? Mostly citing concerns about Prime Minister Netanyahu's handling of the war in Gaza, 10 Democrats voted president and 98 voted no. So half and half split. How much you want to bet all 98 receive AIPAC money? House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries voted against the amendment, so voted to continue to fund Israel. So people can say whatever they want. Tom, you're siding with Democrats. Well, you're siding with Hakeem Jeffries to continue to fund Israel.
Right.
See how dichotomous the whole thing is? How deliciously slippery the slope is actually? Because it can't be you're voting against Israel, so now you're a Democrat. No, because Democrats voted to continue to fund Israel. So you can say, okay, well, I'm in the AOC camp, and you're in the Hakeem Jeffries camp. You see what I'm saying? No, what you actually do is go, why did Hakeem Jeffries vote against it? Because he's receiving AIPAC money. And why did all of the Democrats vote for it? Because they aren't receiving AIPAC money and they're pro-Islam. I'm voting against it because I'm pro-America. I'm American first, and I am not for the treasonous action of merging our two militaries and our intel agencies. You can't be as simplistic and as linear as Sean Farish, Gattard, Gunther Eagleman, and Benny Johnson. Trump said no, so no. You vote against Israel. You're pro-Islam. You're a Democrat. No, it's not that simple, morons. It's not that. Okay, so just so you know, Benny Johnson, Sean Farish, Gattard, Gunther Eagleman are all in the Hakeem Jeffries camp. So you know, right? They can say whatever they want about me, but you're in the Hakeem Jeffries camp because you voted the same way as Hakeem Jeffries and 98 other Democrats. So maybe I'm on the side of the 103 Democrats, but you're on the side of the 98 Democrats, and I'm certainly not on the side of the 103 baby butchers that voted to continue funding Israel with $3.8 billion per year. All right, so go to the next one for me. Alice Brucewitz again. You are, these are little debates here online. So Will on the bottom, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. I can't help it. Aaron, you try. Rizzardiatello.
Ricky
Ardella. That sounds better. Aaron, let's go with the C actually with a sound. Ricky Ardella. That sounds better. It's easier for me to say too. Ricky Ardella. Iran killed Vance's MOU by exposing the fantasy behind it. So Iran actually killed the memo of understanding by exposing the fantasy. Didn't they just simply kill it by bombing ships inside of the Strait of Hormuz and closing the Strait of Hormuz again? Vance thought relief and reintegration could buy normal behavior from a regime built on confrontation. Now, who is this? Who is Will? Will, you are the managing editor for politics for Fox News. So you think everything is fair and balanced at Fox News? No, they're just another Israel sycophantic establishment, Sean Hannity Republican. You'll be concerned. You'll be accused of being anti-Republican if you're anti-establishment Republican.
Yep.
You have to delineate these lines. Establishment Republicanism is $3 trillion worth of debt in the big, beautiful bill. How is $3 trillion worth of debt, 1.7 trillion of that coming from the big, beautiful bill alone? How is that conservative? And how am I not conservative for pointing out that it's not conservative? Again, that's how you have to look at it. The Fox News is for the MOU and for the continuing kinetic warfare in Iran. The Fox News Republican. So, if you're against it, you're not Republican. No, we were promised no new wars, and new wars are not Republican. When a Republican decides to start a new war, does it then make it conservative? Absolutely not. Good arguments by us, Alex Brucewitz. He follows me. I actually follow him, and he follows me on Twitter. Here it is. You can just side by side the next one, guys. Nick Sorter video. Here it is. Here we are, straight over moves. 130, 140, 139 days, something like that, into the war now. And now, U.S. forces just fired Hellfire missiles at an oil tanker, attempting to get to Iran's Karg Island. So we're bombing oil tankers ourselves. This is part of our military embargo, costing you $2 billion a day. There it is. I mean, just so you know. People, can't we talk about something else besides Iran? First of all, we do. But here it is. We were promised 4-day war. Then we were told by Pete Hegseth 10, 12, 15 days. Now we are 139 days in. Something like that. 140 days in. There we are. And no end in sight. No end in sight. The Strait is closed. No end in sight. Okay, but again, we don't need the Strait of Hormuz, but a lot of other countries do, and that also has a great impact on our own prices. All right, let's go to the next one. Tommy Robinson video. People will be like, too, just real quick before we get to that, they'll be like, well, the stock market's up or whatever. Yeah, those are people that are trading on inside information from inside the administration.
Yep.
Okay, I mean, I don't like to say that. Do I think that Trump is committing crimes? I don't necessarily think he's committing crimes. He's very open about really the insider trading that his family's doing. But because it's not illegal because Congress does it. So it's really not illegal. I mean, that's how it is. I see people start talking here, voting for Fishback. Me too, voting for Fishback, absolutely. Not voting for Byron Donalds no matter what. Not voting for a Democrat no matter what. All right, so let's go to this. Let's go to Islam. Tommy Robinson video. Met police were chased out of London by Muslims. Play it for me. See, there's your difference. It perfectly exemplified in a video. All right. Democrats want that in America. That's why, one of the reasons why they're pro-immigration, pro-Somali immigration, Pakistani, Afghan, every Muslim country immigration, and why they're anti-Israel. All right. That's why they're anti-Israel. Now, I can make an argument that Israel is also in favor of Muslim immigration.
Yep.
Flooding, because a lot of the Muslim, if you look at who's bringing in a lot of, our southern border infiltration, just bringing in hundreds and hundreds of thousands before Trump took office, the greatness of Trump closing the southern border, was Jewish family services, Catholic family services. We're causing the mass infiltration of illegals, including Muslims, into our country. So I can make that argument too. But why some people, because they don't know the real big picture, why some people are anti-Israel because they're pro-Muslim. I'm certainly not that. Not at all. I'm anti-Israel infiltrating our government and merging with our military and buying off our politicians. I am. And by the CIA, Israelis are not even allowed in Langley because they bugged the CIA so often, our greatest ally. So anyway, that's what this is. The motivation behind Democrats being anti-Israel is they want a Muslim Sharia law nation, or they're just so sycophantical that they're like, you know what, I just want to show everybody how unbiased I am. I just want to show everybody that. So we're going to let in as many low IQ, inbred, 60 IQ Muslims into the country as possible. And by doing that, I am showing the world. I am showing the world. I'm espousing to everybody how virtuous I am. So you have all the different reasons why they want this. They want this in America. All right, look at this Quantum Guard video. Holy crap. Dr. Oz just revealed the Muslim woman charged with one woman Maybe it's one woman and her daughter. One woman charged with $21 million worth of Medicaid fraud. How do you even do that? And of course, Tampon Tim's Minnesota are a mother and daughter and paid moms to lie that their kids had autism. Play for me.
You got it right. And they're a mother and a daughter, by the way. And they would often pay moms to lie that their children had autism. And in that community, these kinds of behaviors were accepted. Well, this is a much bigger problem for the country. These programs, especially in Medicaid, were designed sort of on the honor system. You were asking people to pay for things your family would normally do for you. And so you'd assume they would take advantage of the system once in a while, but it would be very rare. So this is a good example in autism where we've taken an ailment, a tragic condition for many families that they're struggling financially to cope with. And it was supposed to cost $3 million, $4 million, not supposed to cost $400 million. And it doesn't get there unless you actually dupe people into thinking it's real. In Minnesota, which I have visited, we were there last week, as you know, with the White House Anti-Fraud Task Force led by the Vice President, we were witnessing exactly why these two women were able to get away with it. Within the Department of Health, if you brought up race as an issue, you are a racist. And I actually think if you have red flags pointing to people, whatever race or background they have, you have to go after those problems. And they would ostracize and shut down whistleblowers who are trying to put their hand up and saying, you know, guys, there's something wrong here. At least help me look into the problems. And they escort these people out of the building and never let them return to their primary jobs. Well, the number one biller of Botox in the country just went to jail. She billed $25 million for Botox to Medicaid, pretending that it was going to help people with migraines. Again, fraudster, coming from a place you could not imagine. And we're catching these folks. But the real question we should be asking ourselves, is this a flaw or is it a feature? Why is the number one job in New York State personal care service?
You know, this is the greatness of Trump, because absolutely none of this happened when Trump wasn't in office. Again, this is what dealing with reality is. And people need to do this with their own personal lives. You just deal in reality. What is actual reality? Not, it's sycophantical tribalism. You don't do that. This is the greatness of Trump, rooting out this fraud. Oz is doing a great job. He really is. He's doing a great job. Merging also with the DOJ with these fraud cases. Congratulations to them. Look at this one. Lives a TikTok. This is a tragic deal here. Lives a TikTok tweet. Anti-ICE Free Palestine activist, that's the girl in the photo, right there, girl in the photo, bottom right, who moved to Ireland to be with her Muslim migrant boyfriend, found beaten to death, allegedly by him, in her home. This just shows you. Not a religion of peace. Certainly, it's amazing. Free Palestine, and you go there and to be with your Muslim boyfriend who hates women. These are really. This is the epitome. It's a sad case, but it's the epitome of being a leftist in America. All right, go next for me. Nick Shirley video. Meet Fahima Mahmood. Play it for me.
Here at Future Leaders Early Learning Center, this building received over $3 million. Hello. How are you? I would like to see if I could bring little Joey, my son little Joey here. Is there paperwork, or can I check out the daycare? No? Why can't I check out the daycare?
Martin's not here.
Okay, but if I can I get paperwork or anything to submit my son little Joey to come in here to daycare? We'd really like to put Joey in this daycare. We've heard great things.
Business card?
No, I would like your business card, actually.
You talk to your manager.
Okay, can I speak with somebody? Where are the children at? Are there children here today?
No.
No children?
Yes.
Why are there no children?
Two of Mexico.
Would my son little Joey have friends to play with here?
No.
No.
Yes.
No friends for little Joey?
Yes. Sorry.
Ah, dang it. Well, have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
So, little Joey would not be accepted to that daycare.
Joey's still homeless.
Joey's still looking for daycare.
So that's Fahima Mahmood, operated the largest government-funded Leering Center in Minnesota, received $4.6 million. Also received, and Nick Shirley was testifying in front of the Senator House today, also received $850,000 for feeding our future. Scam and bought real estate with the money. Tried to escape to the UK before being caught by the FBI. Just pled guilty to daycare fraud and COVID fraud. Again, it's the greatness of Trump right there. I mean, there's no doubt about it. The greatness of Trump. Listen, our national debt, we covered it yesterday. Food stamps, what do they call food stamps now? SNAP benefits. 70% of SNAP benefits, $7.8 billion a month that goes to SNAP benefits. A month. All right? 70% of that goes to illegal aliens. 70% of it. What are we doing? Why has Mike Johnson not fixed it? I mean, why hasn't Brandon Gill fixed it? Why haven't Republicans fixed that? Can anybody tell me that? We own the House, we own the Senate, we own the Supreme Court and the presidency, but $7.8 billion per month goes into SNAP benefits. 70% of it goes to illegals. So 70%, let's just say 5.8, let's just round it up to 6. So $6 billion of that goes to illegals. Per month? Why has that not been fixed? Why? Because the Republicans are benefiting from it also. That's why. It's true, folks. It really is true. Oh, is it really 10:10? How long is this video?
48 seconds.
Oh, good. We'll play this one. Jessica Rojas video. 9 officers just got arrested, fired for abusing flock surveillance to stalk people. Play it for me.
Just yesterday in Greene County, a deputy was arrested and fired. Investigators say Quenisha Goss accessed flock data for personal reasons multiple times over the course of 3 months without law enforcement justification. A similar story in South Georgia. 5 Albany officers were arrested on Monday. You see their names listed there. The GBI says an internal audit found that the officers used the flock system multiple times for non-law enforcement purposes. All of those officers have been fired. And just a few weeks ago in Cherokee County, our own Atlanta News First investigation found these 3 deputies have been fired for allegedly misusing flock. Sergeant Mike Creedon, Lieutenant Chris Bryan, and Deputy Cynthia Jodeci were all charged earlier this week.
So how did flock ever happen? I mean, how did that ever happen without any of us knowing it? None of us ever voted for it. It was never brought as part of a bill. All politics is local. Did you vote for it with your city commission, with your county commission, with your state? Did you vote for flock? I never did. I never voted for flock. Did you? Why do we have cameras everywhere? Right here in red Sarasota County, Florida, I'm sitting in the southern end of it. We have flock cameras by the hundreds here. Yeah. How is that? I never voted for any of that. It's weird, isn't it, how all that works? Could it just be politicians lining their own pockets? Probably. Yeah, I know. Aggravain Koaisha. Yeah, I know. A couple other names like Tatiana, too, and whatever. But anyway. All right, that's it. 10-12. That's it. All right. What do we got for rants, Aaron?
We got 2.
All right, 2 rants. Let's hit them.
Conservative Warrior 65 donated $10. Add cross and country to your OK list. Family much love.
Amen. For sure. No doubt. No arguing with that. Go to the next one for me.
Jules 21 ARs donated $20. Best part of the day. Thanks TLP team and chat friends.
The matriarch of the rant, Jules 21 Hours. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right. I don't know exactly what we're going to do tomorrow night. I got to find out what time Trump's speech is on. Trump is doing a announcement on foreign interference in the 2020 election. And that's just going to be, I think, going to be very interesting. I have a piece on that, but I never got to it tonight. Right here is actually the next thing. Director Kash Patel just fired 2 Atlanta area FBI analysts because they refused to participate in the Fulton County, Georgia 2020 election interference. And then there's a real Robert video on the Dominion voting systems and stuff like that put out by Donald Trump on True Social. So we'll see what that is. I'm going to have to see. I'll work it out with Aaron. Can't even say for sure if we're going to have a podcast. I don't have to see how we can do it or if we do it. But anyway, we'll put it out. We'll let everybody know. So if we're on tomorrow, because Trump likes to do things at 9 o'clock.
It's at 9.
Yeah, it's at 9. So usually it's at 9. So either we're going to be side by side with it, or maybe try to respond to it. I don't know. We'll put something out and let everybody know about what we're doing tomorrow. But anyway, stick around for the post game. Lots of good stuff. A little bit of politics mixed into the post game. Stick around for it. You'll love it. Back here possibly tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. We'll see. I'm going to see what exactly is happening. I'll work it out with Aaron. But anyway, love you guys. Appreciate you. If I do, see you tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. God bless you.
Come on, get on out of there. There you go. Your eviction notice. Bro, come out. You're going to get out of there.
Cut all the way down. Watch your fucking self. Get it way back. We're going to cut all the way down. Get way back.
Watch your arm. Where's your arm at? Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna make this quick because I have to go into a meeting. I have 3 meetings today. I have been in the corporate life for almost half my life. For context, I'm 40 years old. I have 2 children who are 11 and 7. And I fell for it. I fell for this thing where, you know, go to college, get your degree. You know, if you want to have kids, you can do it all. You can have a career, you can have kids, you can just do everything. Well, I don't want to do everything. I don't want to do that anymore. I fell for that shit. Do not fall for it. Do not fall for that shit. I want to take my kids to school. I want to pick them up from school. I want to be there when they get home. I want to chaperone for them, volunteer at school. I just want to go to the gym, clean my house, do laundry, go to the grocery store, and just be home. So do me a favor. Do not fall for that shit, because it is not worth it. It's a joke. It's a joke. Don't do it. Be home, find a way to be home, be with your family, be with your kids. Just, it's not worth it. None of this is worth it. So.
Good morning.
You want stuff in the trunk?
Yeah, that's fine. Hi. Your choice of protein today is chicken breast or beef? Chicken breast, please. Thank you.
Also, pancake breakfast at the church today.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Good morning.
We have a produce box with peaches and other vegetables.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Good morning. Yes, please. Thank you.
You're all set.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Eggs and milk are okay for you?
Yes, please. Thank you.
You're all set?
Thank you. I'll skip on cereal today. Thank you.
We have a choice of chickpea or the dry, and then everybody can get macaroni.
Just macaroni, please. Hi. Good morning.
Would you like fruit snacks?
Yes, please. I'll take the rice, please. Thank you. Thank you. You too. I'm so tired.
First, we got our milk and eggs.
But it is rude to ask someone upon meeting them if they're trans. I have been asked by multiple people if I'm trans when I first meet them before I even learn their names. And I always get offended by this. And it's one thing if you don't know what you're doing, but it's rude because I don't want people that I first meet to know that I'm trans. I'm only sharing that I'm trans with the internet because I want to educate people. But I don't want people generally to know I'm trans, because when people see me as trans, they don't see me as a guy anymore. They see me as a trans guy, which to them is in a different category. And again, it gives me gender dysphoria when you ask me if I'm a trans male, because that makes me feel like you're seeing me as a girl who's trying to look like a boy. It means that you're seeing me as too feminine to be an actual boy or a regular boy.
Oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
I don't know.
What do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
I don't know. Annette?
Holy shit. Holy shit.
Hey, what's wrong? You tired? You tired? You're supposed to be tired. Hands up. Come on. Put your hands up here. Hands up here. Come on. This is where you win, okay? Come on. Let's go. Let's go for a little bit. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Let's go. These things. Come on. Let's go, baby. Let's go. You got it, baby. You got it. You got it, baby. I believe in you, baby. Come on. You tough. You tough up there. It's up here. You a wrestler. You a wrestler. Remember that you a wrestler. You tougher than anybody in the world. Come on. Come on. One good shot. Finish, finish, finish. Come on, baby. Come on. You got it. You got it. You got it. Come on. Good job, baby. Come on. Stand up straight. Come on. Look at me. Toughest man in the world. Come on. That's where you win in here, okay? You can't quit in here, you understand? You quit here, you quit in life. You can't quit in life, okay? Really important. Don't quit in life, okay? Yes, sir. Okay, yes, sir. Come on, say it. Yes, sir. There we go. Good job, okay? We'll get some water. Break!
talk about a lot of political things, but underneath all of that is the Bible. I am unapologetically 100% in favor of is the Bible. Jesus is the Word. There is no delineation. If the Bible says it, that's what Jesus is, and that's what Jesus believes. That's what this podcast is actually about, is to actually alert people to what is coming and what is our responsibility.